Hello, we are back again with another thought-focused video. If you haven't seen my previous one, I'll put a link to it on the screen. Essentially what we did was we sat down, my friend and I discussed a poem by David Whyte, and our discussion touched on topics such as friendship, community, understanding, and a whole bunch of other things. So if you missed it, make sure you give that a watch. But if you're not aware, what I'm doing is I am sharing parts of this conversation whilst giving you visuals of me repotting some of my plants from earlier this summer. So in today's video, I would like to share another part of the conversation whilst I repot some different plants. So please enjoy. Right.
Okay.
For context, we are now lying down. We are now lying down. The question is, what is something you realized too late in life?
Wow. Okay, so while something in the back of my mind churns the question and comes up with an answer, the question that's being asked right now is from a card series called The And.
Quick correction, the question that I ask is not from the card game, but it's inspired by the card game.
And I think it's by The Skin Deep. One of those is the company. And so the way that they describe themselves is a creative studio that explores human connection in the digital age. And they offer experiences that deepen relationships, spark meaningful conversations, and explore humanity. I think they're very cool as a company, and they have a bunch of different card games. What we're playing right now is the Friendship Edition. And so, question again, please.
What is something that you realized too late in life?
I think I'm going to be one of those annoying people that pushes back against the too late framing. I don't really have a feeling that there is anything I realized too late. I think probably because I'm quite a sensitive person. And so if I had that framing of too late, I'd feel some sense of guilt or some sense of having missed out or some sense of regret. And I think my mind is mostly like organized or structured in a way where I don't look at things too much like that, because I feel a lot of effort and time honestly has gone into thinking and feeling in ways that generally lead to me feeling content and feeling happy. And so with all of that preamble, some things that I've realized and that have made some pretty big changes is the goodness of pleasure. And pleasure is a word that has a lot of connotations, but I mean it in the simplest terms right now. So pleasure is just realizing that things feel good, and that things that feel good are good. And so I know maybe like you raise an eyebrow, where are you going with this? A really easy example is like us sitting here right now talking feels good. It feels natural, it feels spacious, I feel relaxed, I'm spending time with somebody that I like. There were many, many, many years in my life where us sitting here talking right now and it feeling relaxing and good in this way would have set off a part of me that felt like either I was wasting time or I wasn't being productive enough. Because what I had was the sense I'd almost had two feelings connected. And I had the sense that whenever I was grinding, like doing work that was hard or grueling or struggling against something, then I was being productive. And if I was being productive, then I felt good, or then I was allowed to feel good. But I couldn't go directly to the source of feeling good. So I couldn't just like go for a walk or like hang out with my friends or listen to music for half the day. All of that would make me feel pretty guilty. And so I think this realization's been this like rewiring and maybe like unlearning and then relearning and taking out these crossed wires and connecting them back to the right places. So like the connecting the bad feeling wire to this is bad and the good feeling wire to this is good. And so now I notice like if, let's say I'm working on a piece of writing and an hour in, it's still this grind. I'm frustrated. I feel really bad. It's like a struggle. My body's aching. My muscles are tense. Now something in me says, you're not being productive. You're not being a hero. Like you're suffering does not mean that we're doing something good. Let's get up. Let's move. Let's stretch. Let's have a conversation. Let's find a way of making this easier and more pleasurable. And so then the feeling of good or goodness becomes a compass and a way that and something that I use to navigate my life. And it makes me feel so much more sane, because it's really nice to have those signals mean what they actually mean, rather than be doubting myself and my own feelings all the time. Gives me a deep
I do indeed. I think I just want to let that be. I don't think I want to respond.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
I'm going to reread the question. What's something that you realized too late in life? So I should have, okay, let me reread that. What's something that you realized too late in life? I agree with you pushing back on the too late framing, but I'm still going to answer it without questioning the question, even though that's what I normally like to do. And I would say it is that you don't always have to, okay, we've all kind of built up our own understanding of what is rational, and therefore what the rational choice is when you're called upon to take a choice, which may be you're trying to save money. You can either go out to eat or you can buy food and cook. The rational choice to save money is to buy food and cook it. But you can also do that rationality. Oh, wow. I'm trying to not like make this super academic, but your rationality is bounded, for lack of a better term. I'm using academic terms. Your rationality is bounded. It's limited by what you know and what you can see in front of you. And so the way that you balance the different options and the costs and benefits and so on is limited to the scope of what you know. So if you know, okay, to save money, I need to spend less money, so therefore I need to put, cool. But you may not realize that you can save. First of all, still not buy what you need to buy because it's got more expensive. But also, if you're completely miserable throughout the entire journey of saving and you allow yourself no joy, when you get the thing that you want, you're going to be broke as well. So then your sadness, your miserable state is going to last for so long. So what I'm trying to say is that the one thing that I realized too late is that doing the rational thing is not always the best thing to do. You can do things that are, in inverted commas, irrational, and that can still be the best choice. And I'm not trying to lead nobody astray away from their goals, but I think allowing yourself a bit of room to do the irrational thing here and there is a really good thing. I can think of so many times where I've taken the irrational choice, or the wrong choice, some people will say, some people might even say, and I can see the benefits that yielded me. Think about that time when your friend asked you to go out or told you, like, let's go out, and you're like, nah, I don't want to go, or no, I should stay in and do this essay, I should do this work, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, I'll go on then. And you have the best night ever. And it's not even just about the fleeting experience of the night itself, which is also important, but think about how that adds to like the rich tapestry of your life and the deepening of that connection with that friend, because you're that friend that sometimes is willing to go out and just do something a bit irrational. And that builds to someone who can stay in your life for through trials and tribulations, because you're there for the good times and the bad times. So yes, my answer is I realized that you can do the irrational thing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. I actually see a lot of overlap between those two answers, or I see them as like different framings of the exact same thing, which is rationality is deferring to the mind or using the mind to come to a decision. So, should I do X? Should I do Y? Thinking through it, picking whichever option is like the most logical, optimizes for whatever you've been taught, right? Whatever has been kind of passed to you, what you've been told is right. And what you're describing here as irrational to me is almost a more body-based emotional decision. So it's noticing, okay, what I should do is save, and saving feels frustrating and doesn't feel good. But what I want to do is actually get this thing that I want, and that feels good, and that feels open. And then deciding based on your emotions or based on your feelings. And the same with the example that you gave with the friend. If your friend comes and says, hey, let's go out, and like your body responds with a yes, like you feel that buzz, you feel that excitement, and then you kind of go into your head and you shut down that response and you say, no, the rational and right thing to do here is not go out. Then you're deferring to the mind, right? Then you're, I think for me, becoming a little bit more disembodied. And obviously there's a balance. Obviously, like, it's not always see what feels buzzy and amazing and incredible and follow it. Like, you have multiple systems for a reason. But I listened to you answer that and I was like, I completely relate and completely see this as like one plane of the exact same shape. Or, like the elephant being described from different directions.
I love that. I don't even know what it is. I was going to say parable, but I don't think that's from the Bible.
I don't think it is.
That story, I don't know,
Yeah.
or concept of describing the elephant from different angles. I forgot what I was going to say, and I had a thought, but it has flown away into the night. All I'm going to add before we cut the recording is that I came up with that question. It's from my pack of alternate questions inspired by the and.
That's beautiful.
So I want to make it clear that that's not one of their questions, just in case they think that I'm trying to claim that this is one of their questions, because it's not.
That's cool.
But I guess that also explains why the wording of it is not the best, perhaps, because I also think they wouldn't word a question like that as well, to be honest.
You think so?
The fact that you pushed back on it made me think about it, and I was like, I agree. And I think that given the way that they like think about wording the questions, they would have seen that hole in the question from the jump. So,
how many of those questions do you have?
Probably about 100.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you have enough for a deck.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really, really cool.
That's why whenever you get the card that says fill in the blank with your own question, I just go to my question bank.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'd love to see. Yeah, when you pick that one, I'd love to see what you have. I'd love to see what other questions there are, because I think, making a deck is fascinating. And actually, like, I think not crazy hard to just make it into a thing that you can prototype and then share out. Chat for another episode.
That is a good place to stop.
I think it is. So these cards are one of my favorite things to do, and I think Benga also really, really enjoys them. Would recommend.
Definitely.
Here is a blooper for everyone who is still watching this video.
Oh, for goodness sake. Oh. I don't. Oh.
Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to click the one that I'm putting on the screen now. If you'd like to see a video that is more directly focused around a specific plant, click this video right here. And if you'd like to see more of me, then you can click the subscribe button over here.